Good morning. I think it's morning. Let me check my watch here. Just barely. 11:24. It's a Saturday. In the shop. A little bit of congestion. I apologize. So, what we're working with today is some more of this cherry wall paneling that I salvaged, I think back in March. I'm not really sure. I can't remember. Anyway, somebody I know was having this stripped off their walls. It was around their fireplace, so there was brick underneath this. Because of that, there was probably quite a bit of moisture trapped on the brick. Whoever put the paneling up did not put any kind of moisture barrier or anything, so all of this was cupped. So this morning, I've been running these over the joiner, getting at least one face nice and true. I'm gonna true up one edge now and then start planing it. I've already ripped off the tongue and groove on these just to get an idea of how much material I had to work with. And we're gonna cut these in 1-inch strips, and you're gonna see what we're gonna do with this moving forward. Okay, so I've got this cherry stock milled down to about 3/8 of an inch thick. I'm now going to start ripping these into approximately 1-inch wide strips, and then we're going to start cutting these down to their final dimensions. All right, so we get about 5 strips out of each of these planks. And I've already done these here, so I just have to keep stripping these down, and we'll end up with a bunch of these 1-inch wide strips. All right, I'm just gonna snap my fingers and the rest will be done. All right, there you go. There's all of our stock ripped to 1-inch width, and now we're going to start to cut these down to size and start fitting these. And I'll go ahead and tell you what I'm going to do. All right, so the workbench that I just completed, I had hinted that I was possibly going to be doing something more to this, and I always had it in my head that I wanted to dress up this side of the drawer cabinet, which is just plywood, and then right here you can see that it's just exposed plywood edge here, and I didn't know how well the black paint would hide that, and it does pretty well. If you're looking at it from a distance, you can't really tell, but I think ultimately I want it to be just a little bit dressed up. So I'm going to put these strips with 1-inch spacings down the side of this cabinet. And then I'm actually going to come over here to the leg and continue it and actually wrap it around to this side. And if I have enough material, I'll actually do the front of this leg as well. So it'll be kind of modern, maybe mid-century modern looking, but have it these cool contrasting light colored wood lines wrapping around. And as an added bonus, it's from the same material that the side of the bench was built from. All right, we're gonna hold our hand here for a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Hey, it's sticking. Cool. Looks pretty cool. That's all I'm gonna do for that. That's a little crazy. Yeah, all right, well, that's a thing. Okay, moving on from the workbench upgrades, if you want to call it that. Started to get back into coasters, and these are from the stock, and there's a whole bunch more up there that I made earlier in the year. That was all part of my really well-intentioned plans to make tons and tons of coasters. I mean, I did make quite a bit, but I didn't make as much as I thought I was. But now I'm faced with the task of sanding all of these and finishing them. So I started with this pile here. I've already sanded and I put a finish on these. So I have to do 4 more coats on these, which of course will take a while. And then I'm going to simultaneously also try to get some more sets sanded and prepped for finish. So we'll check in on these a little later on, maybe when I'm almost done, and then also bounce off on to some other sets of coasters. Okay, so right now I'm making a mallet. This is going to be a set piece for a living nativity. And I've never actually made a mallet before, but this one's turning out pretty good. So right now I'm just shaping the handle. It doesn't have to be perfect because, well, everything was made by hand and was hewn with like an axe or an adze or something of that nature. So I feel like a draw knife is not too far off from either one of those. So I'm just kind of giving the handle a little bit of a softer ergonomic grip, and then I'll probably use the benchtop belt sander to kind of round off the head of the mallet. So that's what I'm doing right now. All right, checking back in with these. Coat number 3 has cured on these. So like always, after the 3rd coat, it starts to really get that nice sheen. So just 2 more coats, and then this is 3 sets right here. So these 3 will be available for sale. Okay, next set we're going to go after are these. And I don't know if you remember these from earlier this year. I was definitely experimenting with some different ideas, and of course these were offcuts from that massive cutting board that I made. I'll put a little card right here or something for that video, but yeah, these are pretty wild. Oh yeah, by the way, I finished my mallet and I shaped the handle, and I kind of marred up the surfaces just to make it look somewhat used, and then I put Danish oil over all the surfaces, and I think it looks pretty good. Got the wedge in there to keep it in place. Yeah, I think it turned out really well. So this is 3-inch thick hickory, and I just need to rip about 3.5 inches off the edge of this, and it's hickory, so it's really hard stuff. Anyway, here goes. I'm about 1/3 of the way through, maybe half, just about half. Let's go. go. That's what I needed.